Ladies, let's cut to the chase. Have you ever wondered what truly makes a woman unforgettable in the eyes of a man? I'm not talking about superficial tricks or temporary tactics. I'm talking about becoming a high-value woman who captivates effortlessly, radiates confidence, and leaves men thinking about her long after the conversation ends. Let me guess. Maybe you've heard all sorts of advice like, say this to make him fall for you, wear this to grab his attention, or even, don't text first or you'll seem desperate. Sound familiar? Here's the truth. Those outdated, surface-level strategies don't work on the kind of men you want to attract. The real secret? High-value women communicate in a way that makes men sit up and take notice, not because they're trying too hard, but because they embody something deeper. They possess an energy that commands respect, attention, and admiration. These women know how to engage, intrigue, and connect without chasing or overcompensating. If you've been searching for answers on how to attract high-quality men, men who are emotionally strong, ambitious, and ready for something real, you're in the right place. Today, I'll share 10 transformative ways you can talk to men like the high-value woman you are. By the end of this, you won't just feel more confident. You'll have the tools to build deeper, more meaningful connections. Each step in this guide is designed to reshape how you approach conversations, drawing from powerful principles of Stoicism and emotional intelligence. Stick with me, and you'll see how these subtle yet profound shifts can change the game in your dating life. Let's start with the first step, a foundation that every high-value woman masters: living a life of purpose. 1. Living a life of purpose. Picture this. You meet someone new and he asks, "What do you do for fun?" You freeze, stumbling through generic answers like, "Oh, I like watching Netflix," or "I hang out with friends." If so, don't worry, you're not alone. But let me ask you this. What would it feel like to answer with total confidence, sharing passions and pursuits that light you up from the inside out? That's the essence of living a life of purpose. High-value women don't center their identities around the men they meet. They are complete, magnetic, and fascinating because their lives are rich with meaning. And here's the kicker. This quality is irresistible to high-value men. Men who are worth your time aren't looking for someone to complete them. They're drawn to women who already have fulfilling lives. Think about it. Would you be captivated by someone who seems aimless, waiting for a relationship to give them purpose? Of course not. So how do you embody this? First, ask yourself, what makes me feel alive? What are my goals, passions, and dreams? This is where the magic begins. When you're actively pursuing a life that excites you, conversations naturally flow with authenticity and depth. Instead of forcing small talk or trying to impress, you become the woman who says, "Last weekend, I tried a pottery class. It was such a creative outlet." Have you ever tried something outside your comfort zone like that? This kind of energy is infectious. It shows that you value growth, curiosity, and independence, qualities that align perfectly with the principles of Stoic dating. Stoicism teaches us to remain grounded, resilient, and focused on what we can control. And guess what? Living with purpose reflects exactly that mindset. Here's another secret. When you're passionate about your own life, you automatically shift the power dynamic in conversations. Why? Because you're no longer looking to him for validation. Instead, you're inviting him into a world that's already thriving, a world he'll want to be a part of. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're on a date, and the conversation turns to travel. Instead of passively agreeing with his stories, you say something like, "One of my favorite places is Kyoto. There's this calm energy about the temples that made me rethink how I approach life." Have you ever been somewhere that made you reflect like that? Do you see the difference? You've introduced an intriguing detail about your life while sparking a deeper conversation. This isn't about showing off. It's about sharing what inspires you and inviting him to do the same. Living a life of purpose also means setting boundaries. High-value women don't drop everything to accommodate someone else's schedule. They prioritize their own goals and passions, which naturally builds respect. A man will sense this and admire your independence, knowing that you're not someone who settles for less than you deserve. Finally, living purposefully is about embracing the long game. You're not rushing to prove your worth or seal the deal in one conversation. Instead, you're focused on building authentic connections over time, staying true to yourself, and letting things unfold naturally. So let me ask you, what's one area of your life you could dive deeper into? Is there a hobby, a career goal, or a personal passion you've been neglecting? Start there. When you invest in yourself, your energy shifts, and men can't help but notice. Remember, high-value men are drawn to women who are grounded in their own lives. They see the confidence, the curiosity, and the calm that comes with living purposefully. And in a world filled with distractions and superficial connections, this kind of authenticity is priceless. Stay with me, because next we'll explore how to balance that quiet confidence with humility, something that will make you unforgettable. But before we move on, take a moment to reflect. What kind of life are you inviting someone into? The answer to that question could change everything. 2. Confidence without ego. Let's face it, confidence is one of the most alluring qualities a woman can have. But here's where many women stumble. They mistake confidence for arrogance. True confidence doesn't need to shout or prove itself. It's quiet, grounded, and effortlessly captivating. High-value women don't enter a room announcing how amazing they are or bragging about their achievements. Instead, their presence alone speaks volumes. When a woman is confident without ego, she radiates a magnetic energy that draws people in without saying a word. So, what's the secret to this kind of confidence? It starts with knowing your worth and not feeling the need to convince others of it. You don't need to prove yourself to him or anyone else because you already know you bring value to the table. This mindset aligns perfectly with the principles of Stoicism, which teach us to remain composed and focus on inner strength rather than external validation. Imagine this: you're on a date and the conversation turns to your career. Instead of over-explaining your accomplishments or downplaying them to seem humble, you simply state the facts with grace. For example, instead of saying, "I've worked so hard to get where I am, and I'm probably the best in my field," you say, "I love what I do. It's challenging, but I find it so rewarding." This subtle shift conveys confidence without arrogance. You're showing pride in your work, but you're not seeking his approval. And trust me, men notice the difference. Another key element of confident communication is listening more than you speak. Yes, you heard that right. A woman who doesn't feel the need to dominate the conversation exudes quiet power. She's not trying to fill the silence because she's comfortable in it. When you give a man space to talk about his passions, goals, or even vulnerabilities, you're creating a connection that goes beyond surface-level attraction. Here's a practical tip. The next time you're talking to a man, resist the urge to one-up him or share your own stories too quickly. Instead, lean in with genuine curiosity. If he says something like, "I've been training for a marathon," ask, "What inspired you to take that on?" This shows you're confident enough to make the conversation about him. Not because you're trying to please, but because you're secure in your own identity. Confidence without ego also means staying humble. Yes, you're amazing, but so is he. High-value men are drawn to women who see their potential and appreciate their qualities without making the interaction a competition. This doesn't mean shrinking yourself. It means showing that you value mutual respect and shared growth. Think about it this way. Confidence is like a flame. If it burns too bright, it can overwhelm. If it's too dim, it goes unnoticed. But when it's steady and warm, it creates a space where others feel comfortable, inspired, and drawn in. And here's the most powerful part. When you embody quiet confidence, you stop chasing. Instead, you become the woman men are eager to pursue. They see your self-assurance, your ability to carry yourself with grace, and your genuine interest in them, and they can't help but want to know more. Let me ask you, are you comfortable with who you are, or are you still looking for ways to prove yourself to others? If it's the latter, take a moment to reflect. Building this kind of confidence takes time, but it starts with one simple mindset shift. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth, you already have it. As you take this principle into your interactions, remember this: confidence isn't loud. It doesn't need to announce itself. It's felt in the way you speak, listen, and move through the world. If this resonates with you, let's keep the momentum going. Hit the like button and comment #1 if you're loving this video so far. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more transformative tips on how to elevate your dating life, master Stoic dating principles, and create connections that truly matter. Trust me, we're just getting started. Up next, we'll dive into a skill that high-value women excel at: speaking with intention. You won't want to miss it. Let's keep going. 3. Speaking with intention. Let's talk about a trait that sets high-value women apart in a world of noise: the ability to speak with intention. This isn't just about what you say, it's about why you say it and the impact your words leave behind. Men are drawn to women who communicate with purpose, not just to fill the silence or seek approval. Picture this: you're having a conversation, and instead of rattling off cliches or shallow compliments, you choose your words thoughtfully. Every sentence adds value, sparking curiosity or creating a connection. Speaking with intention isn't about being overly serious, it's about being deliberate, authentic, and impactful. Many women fall into the trap of over-explaining, oversharing, or talking just to keep the conversation going. But here's a secret: silence can be just as powerful as words. When you don't rush to fill every gap, you project calm confidence, showing that you're comfortable with yourself and the moment. This aligns beautifully with the principles of Stoicism, which emphasize self-control and mindfulness. Think about the last conversation you had with a man you were interested in. Did you feel the need to explain every little thing about yourself? Maybe you found yourself rambling about your day, or worse, trying to impress him with stories that didn't really matter. Now imagine this instead. You speak less, but your words carry more weight. You create pauses that invite him to lean in, to ask more, to wonder about the layers you haven't yet revealed. This doesn't mean being distant or cryptic. It's about creating intrigue through meaningful communication. For example, instead of saying, "I really liked that movie because the characters were cool," you might say, "That movie had me thinking about how people handle betrayal." Have you ever felt like you learned more about yourself from a tough situation like that? Do you see the difference? One is a surface-level comment. The other invites a deeper conversation. When you speak with intention, you naturally guide the interaction towards substance rather than fluff. And trust me, high-value men notice the difference. Another part of speaking with intention is knowing when not to speak. Most people are so uncomfortable with silence that they rush to fill it with unnecessary chatter. But high-value women understand that silence is a tool. It shows that you're listening, that you're present, and that you don't feel the need to dominate the conversation. Let's break this down further. Imagine you're on a date, and there's a natural pause in the conversation. Instead of panicking or blurting out something random, you take a sip of your drink, smile, and hold eye contact. That pause doesn't make the moment awkward. It makes it electric. You've just created a space where the other person feels comfortable and drawn to fill the silence themselves. Intentional speaking also means ditching the habit of over-explaining or justifying your choices. A high-value woman owns her decisions and doesn't feel the need to apologize for them. If a man asks, "Why do you like to spend your weekends hiking?" you don't need to go into a 10-minute explanation about how you're trying to stay healthy or impress him with your love for nature. A simple, "It's where I feel most at peace" is enough, short, impactful, and confident. This approach doesn't just apply to what you say, but also how you say it. Your tone matters. A calm, steady voice carries authority and charm. Avoid speaking too quickly or nervously. Instead, slow down and allow your words to resonate. When you speak with intention, every word becomes more meaningful and every sentence draws him closer. And let's not forget the importance of listening. Speaking with intention is a two-way street. It's just as much about what you don't say. When you actively listen to what he's sharing, you can respond in a way that shows you're genuinely engaged. This creates a balanced dynamic where both of you feel heard and valued. So how can you start practicing this today? The next time you're in a conversation, pause before you speak. Ask yourself, does this add value? Am I saying this because it's meaningful or because I feel the need to fill the silence? You'll be amazed at how much more powerful your words become when you speak with clarity and purpose. High-value men aren't looking for someone who talks endlessly. They're looking for someone who makes them feel something. When you speak with intention, you create a space where real connection can thrive, and that's where the magic happens. Speaking with intention isn't just a skill, it's a mindset. It's about valuing your words, your energy, and the moments you share with someone else. And when you master this, you won't just capture his attention, you'll hold it. Let's move forward, because the next element of high-value communication is one of the most liberating and transformative mindsets you can embrace. Get ready to explore what it means to be emotionally detached in the best possible way. 4. Emotional detachment. Let's dive into one of the most misunderstood yet incredibly powerful traits of high-value women, emotional detachment. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't about being cold, distant, or pretending you don't care. Emotional detachment is about one thing: knowing your worth and not letting any single interaction or rejection define your value. Imagine this scenario. You're talking to a guy you're interested in, and things don't go the way you hoped. Maybe he doesn't text back as quickly as you'd like, or he says something that catches you off guard. How do you react? Do you start overthinking, questioning what you did wrong, or trying to fix the situation? If so, you're giving away your power. Emotional detachment flips the script. It says, I'm confident in who I am, and one person's opinion or response doesn't control my emotions or self-worth. This kind of composure is magnetic. Why? Because men are used to women reacting emotionally, chasing validation, or trying to decode their every move. When you show that you're calm, steady, and unfazed, you immediately set yourself apart. Let's talk about rejection. High-value women embrace it. Yes, you heard that right. They understand that rejection is a natural part of life, not a personal attack. When a man isn't interested or things don't work out, they smile, thank him for his time, and move on gracefully. Here's why this is so powerful. When you're emotionally detached, you communicate that your confidence comes from within, not from his attention or approval. This aligns beautifully with Stoic dating principles, which emphasize focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't. A high-value woman doesn't let rejection shake her because she knows it's not a reflection of her worth. Think about it. If a man senses that his rejection will crush you, he'll immediately lose respect. But if you can walk away with your head held high, he'll find himself second-guessing his decision. Emotional strength is rare, and men are naturally drawn to women who possess it. Here's a real-life example. Let's say a man cancels a date last minute. Instead of getting upset, sending a passive-aggressive text, or trying to reschedule right away, you respond calmly. No problem. Hope everything's okay. That's it. No over-explaining, no guilt-tripping, and definitely no emotional outbursts. This kind of response sends a clear message. I respect myself, and I won't let someone else's actions control my emotions. Trust me, he'll notice the difference, and so will you. Emotional detachment also means staying present in the moment. You're not overthinking what he said or worrying about where things are going. You're simply enjoying the interaction for what it is. This mindset keeps you grounded, confident, and in control. Let me give you a game-changing tip. When you feel yourself getting overly invested in a single outcome, whether it's a date, a text, or even a potential relationship, pause and ask yourself, am I seeking validation or am I focused on building something real? The truth is, men are naturally drawn to women who aren't afraid to walk away. This doesn't mean playing hard to get. It means knowing that you don't need to hold on to something that doesn't serve you. High-value women play the long game. They're not attached to one moment, one date, or even one man. They know that the right person will match their energy without them needing to chase or compromise. And here's the beauty of emotional detachment. It makes you stronger, not just in dating, but in every area of your life. You start to see that your happiness, confidence, and worth don't depend on anyone else. This kind of independence is the foundation of true confidence, and it's exactly what high-quality men are looking for. So let me ask you, are you letting your emotions take the wheel in your interactions? If so, it's time to shift gears. Practice staying calm, present, and unattached to the outcome. You'll be amazed at how much more control you feel and how much more attractive you become. If this idea resonates with you, hit the like button and comment number 1 below. Your feedback keeps this community growing, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on how emotional detachment can transform your dating life. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Together, we're diving deep into the principles of Stoicism, self-worth, and what it truly means to be a high-value woman. Let's keep growing and glowing because you deserve nothing less than the best. In the next section, we'll explore the art of maintaining composure in any situation. A skill that will not only elevate your dating life, but your entire approach to relationships. Maintaining composure in any situation. Let's be honest, life, and dating especially, can throw you into some unpredictable, even uncomfortable situations. You might find yourself in an argument, on an awkward date, or dealing with someone testing your patience. How you handle these moments can either elevate your presence as a high-value woman or unravel it. Maintaining composure is the ultimate sign of strength. It shows that you're in control of yourself, regardless of what's happening around you. High-value women know that losing their cool or reacting impulsively only gives away their power. Instead, they respond with grace and poise, no matter the situation. But let's dig deeper. What does composure really look like? Imagine this. You're out on a date, and he says something that could easily push your buttons. Maybe it's an offhand remark about relationships or a comment that feels dismissive. Instead of snapping back or shutting down, you pause, take a breath, and respond thoughtfully. For example, instead of saying, "I can't believe you'd think that," you calmly reply, "That's an interesting perspective. Tell me more about why you feel that way." This response shifts the dynamic. You've turned a potentially heated moment into an opportunity for deeper understanding. This is where the principles of Stoicism shine. Staying calm and centered, even in high-pressure situations, isn't just attractive, it's transformative. Men, especially high-value ones, are drawn to women who can handle life's curveballs without letting their emotions spiral out of control. It's not about suppressing your feelings, it's about choosing how and when to express them. Let's break it down even further. Maintaining composure starts with self-awareness. Recognize when your emotions are rising and take a moment to ground yourself. A simple technique is to count to 5 before responding. This pause gives you the chance to think clearly and avoid saying something you might regret. Another aspect of composure is learning not to take things personally. Often, what feels like an attack is simply a reflection of the other person's mood, insecurities, or misunderstandings. High-value women don't let these moments shake their sense of self. Instead, they approach them with curiosity and empathy. For example, if he's distant or seems distracted, don't immediately assume it's about you. Instead, you might say, "You seem a little off today. Is everything okay?" This shows emotional maturity and a willingness to engage rather than react. Composure also extends to how you handle disagreements. In any healthy relationship, there will be moments of tension, but how you navigate these moments determines the outcome. Raising your voice, interrupting, or becoming defensive only escalates the situation. On the other hand, staying calm and expressing your thoughts clearly can diffuse even the most charged conversations. Imagine you're in a disagreement about plans for the weekend. Instead of saying, "You never listen to what I want," you could say, "I feel like we're not on the same page about this. Can we talk about a solution that works for both of us?" This approach not only keeps the conversation productive, but also builds mutual respect. Let's not forget about body language. Maintaining composure isn't just about your words. It's about how you carry yourself. Are your shoulders tense? Is your voice shaking? Are you fidgeting or crossing your arms defensively? These physical cues send messages just as loud as your words. High-value women project calmness through their body language. They stand tall, maintain steady eye contact, and move with intention, even in difficult situations. Their presence exudes confidence and control. Now, maintaining composure doesn't mean ignoring your emotions or pretending nothing bothers you. It's about managing those emotions in a way that aligns with your values. It's perfectly okay to feel upset, frustrated, or even hurt. What matters is how you channel those feelings into constructive actions. For instance, if something truly bothers you, don't bury it. Instead, address it in a calm and direct way. "I want to talk about what happened earlier because it's been on my mind, and I think it's important we understand each other." This shows that you're not afraid to confront issues, but you're doing so from a place of stability, not chaos. Finally, composure is about playing the long game. In moments of conflict or tension, remind yourself that a single interaction doesn't define you or the relationship. Take a step back and ask yourself, how do I want to be remembered in this moment? Choosing grace over impulse not only strengthens your presence, but leaves a lasting impression. So the next time you're in a challenging situation, take a deep breath and remind yourself, composure is your superpower. It's the invisible armor that protects your self-worth and commands respect. Men notice it, they admire it, and most importantly, they're inspired by it. In the next section, we'll explore the art of active listening, a skill that not only deepens your connections but makes you unforgettable. Let's keep going. 6. Active listening. Let's face it, genuine focused listening has become a rare skill in today's fast-paced, distraction-filled world. Think about it. When was the last time someone truly listened to you, giving their full attention without glancing at their phone, interrupting or rushing to respond? Probably not often, right? Now, imagine being the woman who stands out because she does just that. She listens with presence, intention, and curiosity. Active listening is one of the most powerful tools a high-value woman can use to create deep, meaningful connections. Why? Because it makes the person you're speaking with feel valued, heard, and understood. And here's the kicker. When a man feels truly seen, he won't be able to forget you. Most conversations today feel like a competition. Who can talk the most, share the funniest story, or deliver the perfect line? High-value women, however, know that the real magic happens when you flip the script. Instead of focusing on what to say next, focus on being present in the moment. Let's break it down. Active listening isn't just about nodding along while he talks. It's about fully engaging with what he's saying. This means making eye contact, responding with thoughtful follow-ups, and resisting the urge to let your mind wander or plan your next sentence. For example, imagine he's talking about a recent challenge at work. Instead of replying with, "Oh yeah, that's tough," or shifting the conversation back to yourself, ask something deeper, like "How did you handle that?" Or "What do you think you learned from that experience?" These kinds of questions show that you're genuinely interested and that you value his thoughts. Here's the secret. When you actively listen, you stand out because you're offering something rare, your undivided attention. Men aren't just looking for someone who talks a lot or tries to impress them with flashy stories. They're looking for someone who can hold space for them, who makes them feel comfortable enough to open up. Active listening also means picking up on the little details. Let's say he casually mentions a favorite band or a goal he's working toward. Bringing that detail up later, whether it's in another conversation or even in a small gesture, shows that you're paying attention. This kind of attentiveness is subtle but incredibly impactful. And here's another tip. Silence can be just as powerful as words. Don't feel the need to fill every pause or jump in to share your own thoughts right away. Letting a moment of quiet linger after he says something meaningful gives him the chance to elaborate, creating a deeper connection. But it's not just about asking questions. It's about truly hearing the answers. High-value women don't just listen to respond, they listen to understand. This is where Stoicism comes into play again. Stoic principles teach us to remain present and fully engaged in the moment, free from distractions or preconceptions. When you adopt this mindset in your conversations, you create an environment of trust and authenticity. For instance, if he's sharing something vulnerable like a fear or a personal setback, don't rush to offer advice or fix the problem. Sometimes the best thing you can do is simply acknowledge his feelings. Saying something like, "That sounds really tough. I appreciate you sharing that with me," can be far more impactful than any solution you could offer. Active listening also means being mindful of your body language. Are you leaning in slightly, showing interest? Are your arms open and relaxed, or are they crossed defensively? Non-verbal cues matter just as much as what you say. A soft smile, a gentle nod, or steady eye contact can communicate volumes. And let's talk about distractions, specifically your phone. One of the quickest ways to derail a meaningful conversation is by glancing at your screen. High-value women know the importance of being fully present. So, when you're in a conversation, put your phone away. This small act alone can make a huge difference. Now you might be wondering, how does this help you stand out? Here's the truth. When you make someone feel truly heard, they associate that feeling with you. It's not about agreeing with everything he says or pretending to be interested in topics you don't care about. It's about being genuinely curious, open, and engaged. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're talking to a man about his passions. Maybe it's music, cooking, or fitness. Instead of offering generic responses, dive deeper. Ask, "What got you into that?" Or, "What's your favorite part about it?" These kinds of questions encourage him to open up and share more of himself, creating a stronger connection. The beauty of active listening is that it's not just a skill for dating. It's a tool for building better relationships in every area of your life. When you master this, you become the woman who makes people feel seen and appreciated. And trust me, that's unforgettable. If this idea resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Hit the like button and comment #1 if you're enjoying these insights so far. Don't forget to subscribe for more powerful tips on building connections, mastering Stoic dating principles, and becoming the high-value woman you were meant to be. In the next section, we'll explore how to use Stoic body language to communicate confidence and composure without saying a word. You won't want to miss it. Let's keep going. 7. Stoic body language. Before you even utter a word, your body language speaks for you. It's the silent ambassador of your confidence, composure, and presence. For high-value women, Stoic body language is a non-verbal superpower that commands attention and respect. Why? Because it conveys that you're in control, not just of the room, but of yourself. Picture this. You walk into a space, whether it's a cafe, a party, or a date, and without saying a word, people notice you. Not because you're loud or flashy, but because your presence speaks volumes. You're calm, poised, and self-assured. This is the essence of Stoic body language. Let's break it down. starting with posture. The way you carry yourself is your first introduction. Are your shoulders back, chest slightly open, and chin level with the ground? Or are you slouching, looking at the floor, and shrinking yourself? A high-value woman takes up space with intention. She stands tall, exuding quiet confidence, signaling that she belongs wherever she chooses to be. Eye contact is another crucial element. Maintaining steady, relaxed eye contact communicates confidence, curiosity, and connection. It shows that you're fully present in the interaction. However, don't confuse steady eye contact with an unblinking stare. Soften it with a natural rhythm. Look at him, then glance away occasionally to create a sense of ease and intrigue. Here's a subtle yet powerful tip. When listening, lean in slightly to show engagement. When speaking, lean back just enough to maintain composure and balance. This slight shift creates a dynamic that signals confidence without appearing distant or uninterested. Let's talk about your movements. Are they deliberate or rushed? A high-value woman moves with intention. She doesn't fidget, adjust her hair unnecessarily, or tap her fingers anxiously. Instead, her gestures are measured, controlled, and purposeful. Reaching for a drink, turning her head, or placing her hands on the table, all of it is done with grace. This aligns beautifully with the principles of Stoicism, which emphasize control over external chaos. Your body language reflects your internal state. A calm, composed exterior shows that you're grounded, regardless of what's happening around you. Now, let's address facial expressions. A high-value woman knows the power of a genuine smile, not a forced grin, but a soft, natural smile that invites warmth. But she also knows when to let her expression relax, creating moments of thoughtfulness or intrigue. This balance of openness and mystery keeps the conversation dynamic. Your pace also matters. People who move quickly often come across as anxious or rushed, which can undermine your composure. Slow down. Whether it's walking into a room, reaching for your glass, or turning your head to respond, deliberate movements communicate self-assurance. Another element of Stoic body language is how you use silence. A high-value woman doesn't rush to respond or fill gaps in conversation. Instead, she allows moments to breathe. This not only creates space for deeper connections, but it also shows that she's comfortable with herself and the situation. Think about the last time you saw someone truly captivating. Chances are, it wasn't just what they said that caught your attention. It was how they carried themselves. Maybe it was the way they stood, the way they listened, or how effortlessly they held the room's energy. Men are visual creatures, and while they'll notice your words, they'll feel your body language. If your posture is open, your eye contact steady, and your movements calm, they'll perceive you as confident and in control, qualities that are endlessly attractive. Here's an example. Imagine you're on a date, and he's telling you about a recent experience that excites him. Instead of reacting with exaggerated no's or rushing to respond, you hold his gaze, lean in slightly, and smile softly. Your body language tells him, "I'm here with you, and I value what you're sharing." Conversely, if you're anxious or overly animated, you risk sending mixed signals. For instance, crossing your arms can appear closed off, while fidgeting with your hair or jewelry can signal nervousness. A high-value woman is aware of these subtleties and ensures that her non-verbal cues match her confident, composed energy. Finally, remember that Stoic body language is a skill that requires practice. Start by observing yourself in daily interactions. Are you slouching? Are your gestures rushed or controlled? Do you maintain eye contact, or do your eyes dart away too quickly? Small adjustments over time can have a profound impact on how you're perceived. The beauty of Stoic body language is that it works silently but powerfully. It shows that you don't just talk confidence, you embody it. And when your presence alone speaks volumes, you won't need to say much to captivate the room or him. In the next section, We'll explore the importance of mastering emotional control, a skill that goes hand in hand with composure and body language to make you truly unforgettable. Let's keep building your high-value energy. 8. Mastering emotional control. Let's talk about the one skill that separates high-value women from the rest: emotional control. This isn't just about staying calm in heated moments. It's about maintaining a sense of inner peace, no matter what life or dating throws your way. And trust me, when you master this, men won't just be attracted to you, they'll respect you. Why is emotional control so important? Because emotions are powerful, and when they're not managed, they can lead to impulsive decisions, overreactions, or behaviors you might regret. High-value women understand this and approach their emotions with the same grace and discipline as they do their words and actions. Think about it. How many times have you let frustration, insecurity, or fear dictate how you respond in a situation? Maybe you've sent that extra text you wish you hadn't, or snapped at someone who didn't deserve it. We've all been there. But here's the good news. Mastering emotional control isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about learning how to respond rather than react. Picture this scenario. You're on a date, and he says something that could easily throw you off. Maybe a joke that didn't land or a comment about his ex. Instead of reacting emotionally, you pause, take a breath, remind yourself of your worth, and respond with calm curiosity. You might say, "That's an interesting perspective. Tell me more about what you mean." This kind of response does two things. It keeps you in control of the situation. You're not letting his words dictate your mood or actions. It shows him that you're emotionally resilient, a rare and highly attractive quality. This is where Stoicism comes into play. The Stoic approach teaches us that we can't control what others say or do, but we can control how we respond. Emotional control is about focusing on what's within your power and letting go of the rest. Let's dive deeper. Imagine you're texting someone you're interested in, and he doesn't respond right away. The old you might start overthinking. Did I say something wrong? Is he losing interest? But the high value you reminds yourself that his response, or lack of it, doesn't define your value. You stay composed, carry on with your day, and let the situation unfold naturally. When you embody this kind of emotional strength, you set yourself apart. Men notice because they're used to women reacting emotionally, panicking when things don't go their way or pushing for answers. When you remain calm and unbothered, you communicate one powerful message. I'm confident in myself, and I don't need external validation to feel secure. Emotional control is especially important in moments of rejection. Let's be real, rejection stings. But for a high-value woman, it's not the end of the world. If a man isn't interested, she doesn't let it crush her spirit. Instead, she smiles, thanks him for his time, and walks away with her dignity intact. Why? Because she knows her worth isn't tied to any single interaction or person. Men are drawn to this kind of strength because it's rare. Most people let rejection unravel them. But when you stay composed and gracious, you leave an unforgettable impression. Often they'll find themselves second-guessing their decision, wondering how you managed to stay so calm and confident. Now, let's talk about how to cultivate emotional control. Start with self-awareness. Pay attention to the moments when your emotions start to rise. Is it when someone makes a comment you didn't expect? When you feel ignored or undervalued? Recognizing these triggers is the first step to managing them. Next, practice pausing before you respond. This might sound simple, but it's incredibly effective. When you feel an emotional reaction bubbling up, take a moment to breathe. Ask yourself, how do I want to handle this? What outcome do I want? This pause gives you the power to choose a measured response instead of acting on impulse. Another key is reframing your perspective. Instead of seeing challenges or setbacks as personal attacks, view them as opportunities to grow. For example, if a date cancels last minute, you could spiral into frustration. Or you could use the time to focus on something you enjoy, reminding yourself that his actions don't define your worth. Body language plays a big role in emotional control too. Even if you're feeling a surge of emotion internally, keep your posture open, your movements deliberate, and your tone steady. This not only helps you appear composed, but can also calm your internal state. Finally, remember that emotional control doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It's okay to feel upset, disappointed, or even angry. What matters is how you channel those emotions. Instead of venting impulsively or letting them fester, find healthy outlets, journal, meditate, or talk to a trusted friend. When you master emotional control, you become a woman who's unshakable. You show men, and yourself, that you're not easily swayed by external circumstances. This kind of stability isn't just attractive, it's magnetic. It creates a sense of trust and admiration that goes far beyond surface-level attraction. If this resonates with you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit the like button and comment number 1 if you're finding these insights empowering. And make sure to subscribe for more life-changing tips on confidence, Stoic dating principles, and building the self-worth you deserve. In the next section, we'll explore the power of asking thoughtful questions, an art that can take your conversations and connections to a whole new level. 9. Asking thoughtful questions. In a world filled with small talk and surface-level conversations, asking thoughtful questions is like a breath of fresh air. It's one of the most underrated yet powerful ways a high-value woman connects with others, especially men. Why? Because it shows genuine interest, fosters deeper understanding, and creates moments of intimacy that linger long after the conversation ends. Most people default to predictable questions like, "What do you do?" or "Where are you from?" While these can break the ice, they rarely leave a lasting impression. A high-value woman, on the other hand, uses questions as a tool to reveal layers, uncover passions, and spark meaningful dialogue. Let's start with the intent behind your questions. Thoughtful questions come from a place of curiosity, not obligation. You're not just asking to keep the conversation going, you're genuinely interested in what makes him tick. This shift in approach transforms the dynamic. Instead of feeling like he's being interviewed, he feels seen, valued, and intrigued by your depth. For example, instead of asking, "What do you do for fun?" try something like, "What's a hobby or passion that brings you the most joy?" This small tweak shifts the focus from a generic response to something more personal and engaging. It invites him to open up and share a piece of himself that goes beyond the ordinary. Another example, rather than asking, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" ask, "What's something you've always dreamed of doing but haven't yet?" This question is open-ended, playful, and thought-provoking, encouraging him to reflect on his aspirations. When you ask questions like these, you set the stage for conversations that go beyond the surface. And here's the best part. When a man feels comfortable sharing his dreams, fears, or vulnerabilities, it creates a bond that's far more powerful than any clever line or compliment could achieve. But asking thoughtful questions isn't just about depth, it's about balance. A high-value woman knows when to ask, when to listen, and when to let the conversation flow naturally. You don't need to bombard him with question after question. Instead, ask one, let it land, and allow space for him to respond fully. Active listening is key here. When he answers, don't just nod along, engage with his response. For example, if he says, "I've always wanted to learn to play the piano," follow up with, "What draws you to music?" or "What's the first song you'd want to learn?" These follow-ups show that you're paying attention and are genuinely interested in his perspective. Thoughtful questions also show confidence. They signal that you're comfortable steering the conversation toward topics that matter, rather than relying on clichés. And because these questions often invite deeper thinking, they naturally make you stand out. Let's not forget the power of humor and light-heartedness in your questions. Not every moment has to be profound or serious. Playful questions like, "If you could live in any time period, which one would it be?" Or, "What's the most ridiculous goal you've ever set for yourself?" can bring laughter and reveal unexpected sides of his personality. Another layer to thoughtful questioning is paying attention to the conversation's flow. If he mentions something in passing, like a recent trip or a favorite book, use that as an opportunity to dive deeper. For example, if he says, "I just got back from hiking in Colorado," you might ask, "What was the most memorable part of the trip?" Or, "What's your favorite kind of hike, challenging or relaxing?" These types of questions not only show that you're listening, but also encourage him to share more about his experiences and passions. And when he feels heard, he'll naturally associate that positive feeling with you. But here's the catch. Asking thoughtful questions requires presence. If you're distracted, checking your phone, or planning your next comment, you'll miss the nuances of what he's saying. The more present you are, the easier it becomes to ask questions that resonate. Thoughtful questions also communicate emotional intelligence. They show that you're curious about his inner world, not just his surface. Men often don't get the chance to open up in this way, and when they do, it creates a dynamic that's both refreshing and magnetic. Let's not overlook how empowering this is for you too. By steering the conversation with curiosity and intention, you take control of the interaction in a way that feels natural and confident. You're not just passively waiting for him to lead. You're co-creating a dialogue that's meaningful and memorable. And here's the best part. The more you practice asking thoughtful questions, the more it becomes second nature. You'll find yourself moving away from superficial exchanges and toward conversations that leave a lasting impression, not just on him, but on everyone you meet. In the end, thoughtful questions aren't just about connecting with him. They're about elevating the quality of your interactions, building trust, and showing that you're a woman who values depth and authenticity. And that's a quality no one can resist. In the next section, we'll explore the fine balance between confidence and humility, a dynamic that will take your high-value energy to the next level. 10. Confidence without ego. Confidence, when done right, is magnetic. It's the secret sauce that draws people in, making you irresistible without even trying. But here's where many women get it wrong. They mistake confidence for arrogance. The truth is, confidence doesn't need to be loud or flashy. It doesn't need to prove itself. True confidence is quiet, steady, and unshakable. And when it's paired with humility, it becomes absolutely captivating. High-value women embody this balance. They exude confidence but never let it cross into ego. Why? Because they know their worth, but they also understand the value of others. It's not about dominating the room or overshadowing those around them. It's about owning their presence in a way that uplifts, rather than intimidates. Let's start with the foundation. What does confidence without ego look like in action? Imagine walking into a room with your shoulders back, head held high, and a calm smile on your face. You're not scanning the room for approval or wondering if you're the most attractive person there. You're simply there, comfortable in your own skin, bringing your best energy. Confidence without ego means you don't need to brag or prove your value to anyone, including the man you're interested in. Instead of listing your achievements or trying to impress him with your resume, you allow your actions, words, and energy to speak for themselves. For example, if he asks about your work, you don't need to oversell yourself with lines like, "I'm the best in my field," or "I've achieved so much at such a young age." Instead, you could say, "I love what I do. It challenges me in ways I didn't expect, and I'm always learning." This kind of response shows pride in your work, but leaves room for curiosity. It's confident, but not self-centered. Here's the beauty of confidence without ego. It creates space for connection. Men are drawn to women who can shine without making others feel small. If your confidence is rooted in authenticity and self-assurance, it encourages him to feel the same about himself. Let's take another example. You're on a date, and the conversation turns to a topic you're knowledgeable about. Instead of dominating the discussion to show how much you know, you share your insights while also inviting his perspective. A simple, That's such an interesting point. What do you think about it? Shifts the focus back to him, making the interaction more balanced and engaging. This is the key to balancing confidence and humility. You're confident enough to share your strengths, but humble enough to recognize the value in others. This kind of energy is rare, and it's incredibly attractive to high-value men. Confidence without ego also means being comfortable with vulnerability. High-value women aren't afraid to admit when they don't know something or when they've made a mistake. This kind of honesty shows self-awareness and emotional intelligence. For instance, if he brings up a topic you're unfamiliar with, you might say, "I don't know much about that, tell me more." This kind of openness is refreshing. It shows that you're secure enough to embrace your curiosity without pretending to know everything. Now, let's talk about what confidence without ego isn't. It's not about dominating conversations, seeking validation, or needing to be the center of attention. It's not about putting others down to lift yourself up. And it's definitely not about using arrogance as a shield to hide insecurity. Here's a practical exercise to build this kind of confidence. The next time you're in a conversation, focus on the energy you bring. Are you trying to prove yourself, or are you allowing your authentic self to shine through? Pay attention to how you listen, respond, and hold space for others. Body language plays a big role here too. A high-value woman moves with purpose and carries herself with ease. She doesn't fidget nervously or shrink herself to appear humble. Instead, she takes her time, moves with intention, and projects a calm, grounded presence. Confidence without ego also means staying true to your values, even when it's inconvenient. If something doesn't align with who you are, you're not afraid to speak up or set boundaries. This kind of integrity is a hallmark of high-value women. Here's a quick example. Let's say you're on a date, and he suggests splitting dessert, but you're full. Instead of going along just to please him, you might say, "That sounds amazing, but I'm stuffed." Next time, though. This small moment of honesty shows that you're confident enough to be yourself without worrying about what he'll think. Ultimately, confidence without ego is about owning who you are while leaving room for others to do the same. It's about shining brightly without casting shadows on those around you. And when you embody this balance, you naturally inspire respect, admiration, and connection. If this idea resonates with you, let's take a moment to celebrate your growth. Hit the like button and comment #1 below if you're feeling more confident already. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights on building self-worth, mastering Stoic dating principles, and stepping into your power as a high-value woman. Ladies, we've just unlocked 10 powerful ways to elevate your communication, embody your worth, and captivate the right kind of attention. These principles aren't just about attracting men. They're about stepping into the best version of yourself. You've learned how to live a life of purpose, communicate with intention, and balance confidence with humility. You've seen how mastering emotional control, asking thoughtful questions, and embracing Stoic body language can make you unforgettable. These are tools that will not only transform your dating life, but empower every interaction you have. But here's the real takeaway. Being a high-value woman isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about showing up for yourself, growing from your experiences, and knowing that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's opinion. So as you step into your next conversation, date, or even casual interaction, ask yourself, am I being authentic? Am I leading with confidence, grace, and intention? If the answer is yes, you're already miles ahead. If this video has resonated with you, I want you to do something right now. Hit the like button and comment #1 below. Let me know which tip inspired you the most, or how you plan to use these insights in your own life. Your feedback means the world to me, and it helps grow this incredible community of strong, empowered women. And don't forget to subscribe for even more content on building self-worth, mastering Stoic dating principles, and creating connections that matter. Together, we'll keep leveling up and becoming the women we were destined to be. Thank you for watching, for being here, and for investing in yourself. Remember, you are worthy, you are powerful, and you have everything it takes to create the life and the love you deserve. Until next time, stay confident, stay composed, and stay unstoppable. See you soon.